is cooking. Voices in my head, they count to me, they understand, they talk to me. You got your rules and your religion, all designed to keep you safe. But when rules start getting broken, you start questioning your faith. I have a voice that is my savior, hates to lie.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the WWE Wrestling Talk Show with Reese Rock Jones and
Sean Randy Smith. Sorry for the weeks-long delay.
yes, we are here a little later than we usually would be to review NXT Takeover War Games and SmackDown vs. Raw 2017, otherwise known as Survivor Series.
Yes, better late than ever. Now let's relay to you the events from the pay-per-views.
Starting with NXT Takeover War Games, there were two matches which did not take place on the main card, but you were able to watch on the following week's episode of NXT, and they were a match between Ruby Riott and Sonya Deville, which would prove to be both women's last match in NXT, and we'll get to that a little bit later, with the winner being Ruby Riott. Next we saw for Bruiserweight, Pete Dunne defend the WWE United Kingdom Championship against Johnny Gargano.
And simply put, the winner of the match and
Still WWE United Kingdom Champion Pete Dunne, because why the heck would they put the United Kingdom Championship on an American wrestler?
wouldn't make sense, would it? But thankfully, Pete Dunne is still your current WWE United Kingdom champion for Bruiserweight.
When NXT Takeover went on to the air, we started with Cassius Ohno taking on Lars Sullivan, who in some ways is probably going to be the next version of Braun Strowman.
And simply put, in a very shocking turn of events, the winner of the match was...
I wouldn't necessarily call it shocking. The only thing I would possibly call shocking is how almost one-sided the match was, because after a short 5-minute match in which Lars Sullivan was barely off his feet, he was able to pick up the victory over Cassius Ohno.
With it, Lars Sullivan keeps his undefeated streak.
Next we saw Aleister Black go against the Velveteen Rick Rude.
Now, how can we describe this match?
Well, first of all, how can we describe the Velveteen Dream, who some people might recognize as Patrick from Tough Enough a few years ago?
Yes, Patrick. Good to see that he's being used properly in NXT.
I would describe his character as almost a mix between Ravison Rick Rude and Shawn Michaels, kind of.
Sort of see remnants in both, really.
But in what was a almost weird kind of match because it was all about mind games, who we all know is nothing unless a certain dead man is involved. But after a match which, despite being full of mind games, was a rather entertaining one, Alistair Black was able to execute the Black Mass, no pun intended, and the Velveteen Dream to become the victor of this match and finally say his name. Next, we saw the Fatal 4-Way match to crown the new NXT Women's Champion after Asuka vacated the championship to say goodbye to NXT and move up to the main roster.
Yes, so the 4 women to crown the NXT champion were...
It was a fatal 4-way between Peyton Royce, the Mae Young Classic winner Kylie Shane, Sanity member Nikki Cross, and Ember Moon. Now, the only thing I would say about this is the match seemed a bit rushed. The winner wasn't exactly shocking, but with this whole women's revolution thing, they deserve a slightly longer match and more effort were put into it.
The winner of the match, and obviously new NXT Women's Champion, is...
Following what was essentially a double eclipse, which was in a way a double Stone Cold Stunner from the middle rope or top rope. The winner of the match and the new NXT Women's Champion on her third attempt, Ember Moon, and just to sweeten the deal, she was presented the championship by former champion Asuka, who was at ringside for the event.
Yes, she was. It was nice to see her make an appearance just for one night.
Well, the takeover events are often seen with people who are on the main roster.
But
Next, we moved on to the co-main event, so to speak,
yes, co-main event is definitely the right word.
when Drew McIntyre defended the NXT Championship against Andrade Cien Almas.
Now, how can we describe this NXT Championship match?
It was, I would say, almost what you would expect from a championship main event with two performers who can actually work.
But unfortunately, during the match, one of the superstars suffered an injury.
Yes, but we'll get to that a little bit later. In this match, we had something we have not seen in a while when McIntyre hit the Future Shock DDT.
That's the first time in a long time.
For a near fall. We had a Hammerlock DDT from Almas on McIntyre for a near fall. We even had the Claymore or Calmo, however you're supposed to present it, performed on Almas, except for Selena Vega to put Almas's foot on the bottom rope.
Yes, allowing the match to continue. But
The match ended with a super hammerlock DDT from the middle rope, was it? In some ways, it was almost like Randy Orton was hitting one of his DDTs.
yeah, that's not fine. How dare you?
And which had a 3 count, which resulted in, as Howard Finkel would say it, a new NXT champion, Andre Cien Almas. Now, this was supposed to result in Drew McIntyre, not necessarily straight away, but was supposed to lead to a build to him being put onto the main roster. However, as we mentioned, as my co-host mentioned, during the match, one of the competitors picked up an injury. I'm not sure whether this would have altered the finish to the match, but what happened in the end was that Drew McIntyre suffered a torn bicep muscle, which, depending on the severity, can leave him out of action for up to 6 months, although he has said he would like to be back in time for WrestleMania.
Would be the preferred time of they would like him to come back. But they will come back that day, it's a different story.
The question is, do they have him come back and go to NXT, or do they have him come back and go straight up to the main roster?
Only time will tell.
So that does it. Well, oh no, it doesn't. Not quite doesn't do it for NXT Takeover. I almost forgot the whole reason it's called War Games. Next, and the main event of the evening was the Triple Threat Tag Team War Games match, which featured the teams of the Authors of Pain in Hakeem and Razor teaming up with Roderick Strong who would take on the team of the NXT Tag Team Champions Sanity of Alexander Wolf, Eric Young, and Big Dame, otherwise known as Killian Dane, who would also take on the Undisputed Era of Adam Cole, Bobby Fischer, and Kyle O'Reilly. Now, by the rules of this match, one member of each team would start in the ring. After, I believe it was a 5-minute time interval.
Yes.
Or 3, all the members of the other team would be put into the match, and a 3-minute time interval after that for the other members of the other team would be put into the match. Now, this match did not officially get underway until all the members of all teams were inside the ring, which means is like you could beat each other up, but you could not win the match until everyone was inside the war game structure. Which, in my opinion, they kind of cheated with the war game structure, because basically what they did was have 2 steel cages and join them together.
And 2 rings.
Well, yes, that's the whole thing with war games. Is that in the WCW days, it was almost like having one big Hell in a Cell type structure over the rings. But in any event, when everyone actually got into the ring, one word describes this match: chaos.
Chaotic.
We had steel chairs, tables. This might as well have been an ECW event.
Yes.
We had triple power bombs, a rarity in these days. But we even had blood, which we're not sure whether it was intentional or not.
But in any event, the winning team of this chaotic and chaos war game match was...
Well, it ended when I believe it was Alec Young was going for a steel chair. Adam Cole had a candlestick, and they kind of hit each other. And we had a shining wizard into a steel chair.
Ouch.
The 1, 2, 3, and the winners of this match, which wasn't really surprising considering that they just got there, was the Undisputed Era of Adam Cole, Bobby Fischer, and Kyle O'Reilly. I would not at all be surprised if come the next NXT Takeover, Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly are making a move for the NXT Tag Team Championships, and Adam Cole is making a move for the NXT Championship.
It was neither. So, about the NXT War Games pay-per-view.
In a couple of minutes following this ad break, we shall move our attention to Survivor Series.
Also known as SmackDown vs. Raw 2017.
Let's see you in a bit.
In it.
Listen up, there's not a moment to spare. It's quite a drop from the top, so how you feeling down there? It's a cold, cruel, harsh reality. Caught, stuck here with your enemies. Who do you think you are? Tearing us all apart. Where did you think you could go? 'Cause everyone already knows it's 20 to 1. Yes, so you better run. You got the world on its knees. You're taking all that you please. You want more, but you get nothing from me. You like the burden we bear. You love the hate that we share. You want more, but you get nothing from me. But enemies, enemies. You started something that you just couldn't stop. You turned the ones that you love into the angriest mob. And the one last wish is that you pay for it. And there's no way you're getting out of this. Who do you think you are? Tearing us all apart. Where did you think you could go? 'Cause everyone already knows it's 20 to 1. Yes, so you better run. You got the
And we are back to present to you Survivor Raw vs SmackDown.
2015.
Survivor Series. Now, we had 3 matches on the pre-show, so we'll just run through those quick. The people who walk with Elias defeated Matt Hardy, who appears to be turning broken. Then we had the Cruiserweight Champion Enzo Amore defeat Kalisto, but he will likely run into a certain man by the name of Hideo Itami very soon as well. Then the besties of Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn defeated Breezango.
Doesn't count on the scoreboard if you're asking at home. These matches still coming up next. So get the scoreboards out.
Now, on the main roster, we started with The Shield versus The New Day in a 6-man interbrand match, which was started when The New Day helped The Bar become 3-time Raw Tag Team Champions.
When Raw was coming out live for the matches.
So this was a match which was all over the place. It was a very entertaining match to watch.
Yes, it was.
Not quite as entertaining as the New Day and the Usos have had, but very close up there, and probably the second match of the night. There were moments when I thought that the New Day might actually pull this off, but in the end it was a super triple powerbomb from the second rope or middle rope, one from the middle rope or even the top rope, on Kofi Kingston, which spelled the end for the New Day. And in their first match back together, The Shield reigns supreme.
1-0 up.
Next we had the SmackDown. Next we had the Women's Survivor Series match with Team Raw represented by Captain Alicia Fox, Sasha Banks, Bayley, Asuka and Nia Jax taking on Team SmackDown represented by Becky Lynch, Naomi, Carmella, Natalya, who had recently lost the Women's Championship, and Tamina.
Now, first to be eliminated.
Yeah, let's go through the order of elimination here, shall we?
So the first to be eliminated was...
The first to be eliminated after just 2 minutes and 5 seconds was Team SmackDown's captain Becky Lynch, and she was eliminated by a roll-up by Bayley. Then eliminated after 5.5 minutes following a Superfly splash from Tamina was Bayley. Then after 9 minutes and 5 seconds, Nia Jax was counted out.
Yes, that's an impressive teamwork. SmackDown.
After 11 minutes and 8 seconds, Naomi was eliminated by the bank statement.
Definitely a statement.
Then, after 13 minutes, Carmella was eliminated by a roundhouse kick from Asuka. Then, after 15.5 minutes, Sasha Banks tapped out to a world famous heart move for Sharpshooter.
And we all know how to correct that one.
at Survivor Series as well, 20 years on from a multi-year screw job. This left a 2-on-1 advantage with Asuka, Tamina, Asuka for Team Raw, and Team SmackDown had Tamina and Natalia.
Yes.
After 17 minutes and 35 seconds, Tamina was eliminated with a flying cross armbar. And just a minute after that, Natalia was eliminated with the Asuka lock, which means the winner of the match, Team Raw, and the sole survivor, Asuka, which was really the right way to book it, which put Raw up 2 matches to nothing.
Yes. So Raw looking like a superior brand.
Next, we had the first of our 4 champion versus champion matches. When United States champion Baron Corbin took on then, and I will get into that in a while, Intercontinental champion The Miz.
Now, it's 2 heels here, and going into this match, we didn't really know who was going to win.
It was a decent match. It wasn't anything special. But in the end, with the end of days, the winner of the match, the United States champion Baron Corbin. And as if things weren't bad enough for The Miz then, because Maurice was at ringside, the following night on Raw, he goes into an Intercontinental title defense against Roman Reigns and loses the Intercontinental Championship, making Roman Reigns a Grand Slam champion. But then, as if things weren't bad enough for The Miz then, after Raw goes off the air, he has to run his mouth.
Yes, in front of the crowd in Houston.
Resulting for the Shield to come back out and deliver. Well, what was it? I'm so sick of getting booed because I'm The Miz and I'm. Oh, shoot.
And then he started out Shield before eating a super kick from Seth Rollins.
Followed by a triple powerbomb through the announce table. Which
and for a while, I'm shooting a movie.
yes, The Miz will be out of action storyline wise to shoot one of the upcoming Marine movie whenever that's out. Next, we moved on to what was also a decent match. It was the SmackDown Tag Team Champions of Usos taking on the Raw Tag Team Champions, Cesaro and Sheamus. Again a good match, and again what you expect with tag team matches, back and forth action, tags in and out, obviously, because the Bar played more of a heelish role in this match. But in the end, it was the super kick followed by a super splash, which made the Usos win this match and put SmackDown up to level scores of 2 matches apiece.
Yes, 2-2. Yeah, it's all to play for.
Next, we had the recently crowned SmackDown Women's Champion, take on the Raw Women's Champion, the recently crowned SmackDown Women's Champion being Charlotte Flair, who was originally scheduled to be on the Women's Survivor Series match, but ultimately beat Natalya for the title for SmackDown before the show and became involved in this match. This match was surprisingly entertaining. It's safe to say that Alexa Bliss took Charlotte to the limit here. But in the end, the naturally gifted Queen of the women's division, yes, but that was before we had some unwelcome guests on both Raw and SmackDown, because the next night on Raw we had Bayley, Sasha Banks, and Alicia Fox and Mickie James, all basically saying that they wanted to be women's champion. Kurt Angle scheduled a fatal 4-way to decide who would be the winner of the number one contender. That match was interrupted by the returning Paige, who made her return in more than a year. But she did not come alone.
Oh no.
She brought her friends of Mandy Rose, who she was once judge of in Tough Enough.
Yes.
And as we mentioned earlier, making her way up from NXT as well, Sonya Deville.
Yes, and they attacked Sasha Banks, Bayley, Mickie James, attempted to attack Alicia, and attempted to attack Asuka. Didn't get a chance to attack Asuka.
This is basically a female version of the Shield at the minute. But as if that wasn't bad enough, we had the same kind of thing on SmackDown, except it was Ruby Riott, Liv Morgan, and Sarah Logan who came up.
Whatever SmackDown can do better, apparently.
Does this lead into the speculation which has been going on to a women's Royal Rumble match? We will find out in a couple of months. Going back to Survivor Series.
Yes.
Next we had the match of the night, which was WWE Champion, recently crowned again, AJ Styles, taking on the undisputed Universal Champion, Brock Lesnar.
Ouch.
Now, I will admit, at the beginning of this match, I was a little worried because Lesnar was dominating this match, and we had suplex. I was worried it was going to go the same way as John Cena a few years ago, but it didn't, because AJ Styles came back. Brock Lesnar proved that he can work a good match and can sell when the guy wants to.
When he wants. When he wants.
But the ultimate victor of the match, after a near fall with a phenomenal forearm, Styles went for it again, was caught into the F5, and the winner of the match, Brock Lesnar, which tied the score. Yes, which leaves the men's Survivor Series match, and since we are kind of almost out of time here, we will just skim through it.
Right?
The first two superstars to be eliminated were Shinsuke Nakamura and the glorious Bobby Roode, both by Braun Strowman. Next to be eliminated was Samoa Joe for Team Raw with an attitude adjustment from John Cena. Then John Cena bit the dust following a coup de grace into an angle slam. Next, Finn Balor bit the dust with an RKO.
Right?
Next, Randy Orton bit the dust following some outside interference from Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. This left Shane McMahon facing Triple H and Braun Strowman and Kurt Angle. Then Kurt Angle was eliminated by his own tag team partner,
Triple H.
which will probably lead to a WrestleMania match sometime down the line. And then Triple H delivered, after teasing a face turn, delivered a pedigree to Shane McMahon, causing the 1, 2, 3 to be delivered there.
Team.
So does it for Survivor Series. We shall see you in a couple of weeks for the final pay-per-view, Clash of Champions. He's been
Jonathan Smith.
and I've been Lisa Jones. See you next time.